I wouldn't even dare to come to this park before, brother.
Su trabajo ahora, ¿cómo es diferente que el pasado? No podía hacer eso? No?
Podía.
¿Por qué no?
Mucha delincuencia.
See? Was there any pressure for you to join the gangs?
Por ejemplo, antes uno tenía miedo de subir a cualquier persona.
Sí?
Pues sí, porque no sabía que lo podía asaltar, robar.
They pulled the bus over inside of an area that was not that crowded, and they set the bus on fire with the people inside.
¿Hay muchos policía o militares?
Sí, bastante. No puede hacer relajo porque también, si no, no me echen preso.
Today I'm traveling to the country that just a few years ago was known as the murder capital of the world, where at its peak the homicide rate was 20 times higher than the United States, the highest in the world. Now El Salvador ranks as the second safest country in all of the Americas, only behind Canada. After El Salvador's election in 2019, the new president Bukele built the largest prison in all of the Americas. And after militarizing the country, he arrested tens of thousands of alleged violent criminals and suspected gang members without a trial or due process, to throw into the infamous Secote prison, where there is no contact with the outside world, no visitors, and no opportunity to ever be released. There's never been a transformation this drastic in modern history, as El Salvador's homicide rate has been reduced by 98% in the last 10 years. So today I've decided to travel to El Salvador to see it for myself, to find out, is it as safe as they actually say? Have they traded fear of gangs for fear of the government? And most importantly, I'll interview the locals to find out their opinions. Do they believe the crackdown on gangs has been too extreme, or was it necessary? Let's fly to El Salvador to find out.
Taxi, taxi, taxi.
Finding drivers nearby. Sí. Oh, sí, hay mucho calor.
¿A qué país viene?
¿Qué país?
¿A qué país?
Estados Unidos. No, es mi primera vez acá.
Ah, qué bonito. Cero delincuencia, cero.
¿Qué es delincuencia?
O sea, que lo vayan a robar, nada de eso, pues.
Ah, sí, bueno, es por eso, exacto. So,
Seguro, seguridad, security.
¿sientes más seguro?
Sí, no hay nada, ahora no.
Sí.
Hay robo, pueden andar a cualquier hora, a cualquier lugar.
Pero antes, ¿cómo fue?
No, antes no.
Antes era muy peligroso, ¿cierto?
Sí, había muchas pandillas y territoriales, no podía meter en alguna parte. Por ejemplo, antes uno tenía miedo de subir a cualquier persona.
¿Sí?
Pues sí, porque no sabía que lo podía asaltar, robar. Y antes uno no podía sacar el teléfono para tomar fotos, ¿sí?
Todos los días tenías miedo sobre...
Sí, en los buses, cuando uno agarraba el autobús, se ponía a robar. Ahora no.
¿Hay muchos policías o militares?
Sí, bastante. También tiene que estar, o sea, no puede hacer relajo porque también, si no, no me echen preso. Ya no tiene miedo la gente de venir.
We have arrived at the Biblioteca. This is the heart of the city. This park was something that was too dangerous for citizens to come enjoy just a few years ago, just to see the transformation and to see just how different and relaxed it is right now. People just strolling, relaxing, sitting. You've got kids playing with pigeons over here. Quise preguntarte cómo es hacer su trabajo ahora, cómo es diferente que el pasado.
Más seguro.
¿Más seguro?
Para pensar con relación a la seguridad, ya uno ya no está tan expuesto a que al salir de tu trabajo te pase algo. Ya hoy hay una gran seguridad en todas partes prácticamente, más acá en el centro histórico. Ya no hay delincuencia, que te vayan a robar o algo.
He escuchado que este parque antes era más peligroso.
Sí.
¿Sí? Ahora siente muy relajado.
Sí. Todo el mundo anda relajado prácticamente acá, ya puede caminar sin ningún miedo en todas las calles del centro histórico. Más esta calle era demasiado peligroso, que no podías pasar por lo menos de un sector al otro, no podías pasar porque era contrario, pandillas diferentes, entonces no podías ingresar. Entonces antes así era, hoy gracias a Dios podés ingresar donde tú quieras.
Gracias por por todo. All right. I just listened back to the interview with the police officer, and the construction noise is too loud. Essentially what she was telling me was that she would have not done that job a few years ago. It was too dangerous, but she took that job now because it's a much safer job under President Bukele. She also said that street was off limits. She said the gangs essentially controlled it and you couldn't enter that exact street that we were on. I see a market over here. I'm gonna walk down here real quick, but then I've got to go meet my walking tour in just a few minutes. But here it looks like they're selling some clothes, maybe some food up here. Hola, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. ¿Hay papusas?
No,
No?
no, pupusas no.
Oh, ¿qué es eso?
Carne,
Oh, tortillas de carne. ¿Cuánto vale?
1.50 con 2 tortillas.
Uno, por favor. Muy bueno. ¿Sí?
Rico, rico, rico.
Rico, muy rico.
Chuparse así, mire, jodidito.
Okay. There's mucho comida. Gracias. Got a little food here. So it's some meat, a good portion of meat, and ay, no. Muchas gracias. It's a good portion of meat and then 2 tortillas. I thought it was papusas. Oh, no, gracias. Es suficiente.
Parado, si quieres salvador, se come parado, papá. Aquí parado, come. ¿Un cafecito?
¿Qué es eso? Oh, café.
Café, café.
Oh, no puedo.
¿No toma café?
No hoy.
No, hombre, aquí en El Salvador comes parado, papá. ¿Comes parado aquí en El Salvador?
No entiendo, lo siento.
O sea, así como estás, así comes. Mira, así se come. ¿Qué? Ay, está en El Salvador. Extraño. ¿Cómo te llamas?
John.
John.
Sí, ¿ustedes?
Yo, Yulai.
July? Mucho gusto.
Gracias.
Mucho gusto. July, ¿eres de acá?
Sí, aquí en El Salvador.
Ah, qué bueno.
Estamos vendiendo pantalones cachadas.
Oh, ¿trabajas acá?
No, ya estamos vendiéndolos aquí, ¿sí? ¿Ve?
Ah, pantalón.
Ajá.
Pantalones.
$8.
$8 por pantalón. Ah, qué bueno. Yo tengo demasiado ropa ahora, no necesito ropa ahora.
No, pero para que ya esté sabedor que pasa, porque como siempre veo que pasan varias personas así como ustedes, que vienen de otra parte.
Ah, sí.
Ajá, y me pasan ahí por el lado de la biblioteca, siempre pasan aquí como 10, 11 personas, siempre para cada ratito.
¿Negocio es mejor ahora?
Ajá.
Sí, recientemente, en los últimos años. Sí, porque antes no podía. No, ¿en serio? No podía hacer eso.
No podía.
¿Por qué no?
Mucha delincuencia.
Sí. Entonces, ¿cuándo empezaste a hacerlo acá?
Como unos 3 años atrás.
Y también hay más turismo de pronto acá, entonces más personas para
Hay
comprar.
playas, hay parques. No sé si has ido a la Puerta del Diablo. ¿Has
¿Cómo?
ido a la Puerta del Diablo?
No.
Ahí bien bonito.
¿Sí?
En la Puerta del Diablo caminas en una como tipo pasarela que ves abajo.
Ajá.
Bien bonito y se mira como montañas, el aire bien helado, es bien rico.
Ah, qué bueno, qué
Bien
bueno.
rico. Las chicas también son algo serias, algo enojadas.
¿Enojados sobre qué?
Mira, pues como pasan enojadas. Mira, algo enojadas.
No sé por qué, no sé
A ver,
por
¿por
qué.
qué? Bien, Salvador andan enojadas.
Ah, sí. No sé por qué.
A ver, vamos. ¿De qué parte venís vos?
¿Cómo?
¿De qué parte venís vos de allá?
¿Yo? Soy de Estados Unidos.
Cabalito ahí. No, eso no puedo. Hasta en 5 se la puedo poner. Sí, aquí es bonito, El Salvador es bonito. Oye,
Sí.
está bien bonito, es bien turista.
Sí, yo creo que el turismo va a crecer.
Bastante.
Sí, yo creo que sí. ¿Tienes camisetas? $3. Ok.
A usted es esta, ¿ve? Para usted. Este, ¿ve?
¿Este? Ok.
Color.
Okay.
Resalta bastante.
I already have a lot of blue shirts, but he recommends it, so we'll do it. Sí, mire, ok. ¿3? Ok, qué bueno. Bueno, mucho gusto,
Gracias, que te vaya muy
muchas
bien,
gracias.
cuídate.
Igualmente.
Ah, pues, ahí estamos ahí. Hay cualquier cosa también que quieras ahí para ahí, ¿ve? Te pueden atender ahí también. Boxers para vos.
Estoy tarde por una tour de caminar.
Ah, que eres un tour de caminar.
Sí, hay un parque por allá y vamos a
También
conocer.
sabes dónde puedes ir. Al parque Cucatlán.
Voy allá ahora.
Ajá,
Sí,
pues, digamos, te puedes ir caminando.
sí, voy a
Aquí
caminar.
Caminando, vas tomando fotos, vas viendo a las bichas todas enojadas, bravas del Salvador, bien relajado. Ahí estamos entonces.
Ay.
Fíjate, brother, que te va bien.
Igualmente, muchas gracias, muchas gracias. Nice man, great salesman as well. Okay, let's continue. This seems like the main road right here, and it's a walking street, so you don't have any traffic, which is nice. I just can't imagine what it was like for life to be that way for so long, and then suddenly everything changes. Suddenly you can become a police officer, a job that you would not have done in the past. You can become an Uber driver, a job that was too dangerous to do in the past. He said he wasn't able to sell clothes right there a few years ago. Life changed in the course of a year or two, just the entire world flipped upside down for the better, it seems. So I'm gonna walk down this road for about 20 minutes probably to get to the park. It says it's a 16-minute walk down this road to the meeting point, and I've got 20 minutes to get there. This is nice. I don't know how much of this is newly done, but you've got a nice bike lane over here as well. We're doing construction on it as we speak. So this seems to have opened a lot of doors for business opportunities, for tourism, for infrastructure. It feels like there's enthusiasm and excitement for the future of the country and where it can go now. Wow, beautiful park. This is where we're doing the walking tour. I think we're meeting right over here.
I can tell you that we have had such a huge change when it comes to social structure and everything. Why? Because I wouldn't even dare to come to this park before, brother. This park was full of gangsters, prostitutes, and drug dealers. So in order for you to go from one end to the other end, you have to be pretty much going around it. If you were crossing the whole park, then you most likely either were gonna get stabbed or robbed. The whole country, especially downtown, was controlled by two gangs in this country, the MS-13 gang and the 18 gang. Even though you were not part of a gang, but you grew up in one side of these two gangs, then it was forbidden for you to be either getting close or entering the other side.
30 years since Barrio 18 and MS-13 have
started each other, and they took over. They even infiltrated in the police, they infiltrated in the government. So it was all corruption everywhere until we got a change in the government. Once the President Bukele took over, we had such a massive and huge change in the whole nation that we finally got a chance to start rebuilding. But now we just became one of the safest places in the East Hemisphere. If I'm not wrong, Canada just declared us the second safest country in the Americas continent, just below them. Many people have said that we are even safer than the States now, although they also say that at the same time that it is not very hard right now.
It's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I can tell you that you can go at midnight everywhere, nothing's gonna happen to you. There is a bunch of soldiers everywhere in every corner.
So what's the overall opinion of Bukele and what's been going on here in the past few years of the citizens?
Okay, people love him. He has become something like an icon. Even people are wearing like shirts with his face, and they got mugs, keychains, you know what I mean? Because many people believe that it was never gonna be possible to get rid of the gangs in this country.
Right.
He did it in a record, you know. He did it just in a couple of years. I don't know if it was 82% or 84% of the population was like on his side. So it's very small people that are pretty much complaining about the things that he's doing.
Right. Everyone, I've already spoken with a few locals here. Uber drivers said that they wouldn't do that a few years ago. They were scared to drive an Uber. Entonces nunca haría hacer eso like hace 5 años.
No haría Uber.
Brother, Uber drivers and bus drivers were the target of the gangs. Everyone, most of the time, whenever you had a business or you had a good job, you had a quota to cover, or they called it the rent. You had to pay a rent weekly in order for them to not do anything to you. So Uber drivers were getting whenever they were getting close to a neighborhood, and they maybe didn't pay a quota. Same thing for the bus drivers. They were pretty much, they had to do it every day. It was a lot of, it got to a point in which you got so desensitized to that. Whenever you were, for example, seeing somebody that was getting and that was within the same neighborhood, it got to a point on which you were not allowed to call the police or the ambulance because it was taken as you snitching on them. So you had to just let people there, unless of course it was a relative or a family member.
This is why I had to come here, because I've never seen anything like this in the world. Such a drastic change this quickly. I would never walk around like this a couple years ago.
Only taking out your phone, it was not possible, brother. Right. That's why we got, this is something that is stuck with me, a spare phone. Because in case that you were getting robbed, you were given the one that doesn't work that much.
Like a decoy phone.
Yeah.
He just told us about all of the people the government has killed in the 80s, the 70s, and the 80s. This means homicide, and these are all of the names. This wall goes all the way down to here.
Once that we became a militarized nation, the government starts chasing. Now that they invested in the military, then they start chasing the gangsters. President Bukele decided to create the biggest jail in the Americas continent, which is Secot. and he decided to put him inside of that jail.
From what I've seen with the human rights controversy, a lot of it was the fear that people were being arrested who weren't in the gangs.
Even Bukele himself said that there is a 3% margin of error. So he said that it's pretty much, there are people who are just not related, but that got taken, they're mistaken by gangsters. They were thought to be gangsters. Month after month, some people are getting released. If you are wearing a tattoo that has the number 18 or the number 13, then that means that you were part of the gang, because nobody was using those tattoos before when they used to rule the country. So again, the government was using that as a reference to start capturing the gangsters. Whenever somebody had a tattoo that was related to the gang, then they were under investigation, and then they are sent to Secot. No hearing, no court. Again, because for you to be part of the gang, you have to kill the person. Straight to Secot, no hearing, no court. Yes, there is a percentage of people who have been put in jail that they didn't do anything, but unfortunately there is no system that is perfect. It's a price that we have to pay, unfortunately. It may happen to me one day, it may happen to anyone else in this country, so it is what it is.
What did the process actually look like when they rounded up the gang members? Did the military just go through neighborhoods in mass and just arrest everyone?
They did this. Soldier after soldier after soldier formed in line surrounding the whole city, and nobody was allowed to leave the place, nobody was allowed to enter. So you're going to see a whole line, like over 2,000 soldiers surrounding the whole place, and then another group of soldiers entering the area and going at night, entering the houses, and they were getting anyone that was wearing a tattoo related to the gang, and that's how they captured them all. It's known as the burnt bus in Mexicanos. It's a district that we have a few kilometers away from here. One day the bus driver decided to take another route, and he entered the opposite area of the gangs. The gangsters took the whole bus, they pulled the bus over inside of an area that was not that crowded, and they set the bus on fire with the people inside. Again, women holding babies were burnt alive in this position with the baby, a pregnant woman inside, and they did it just for fun. Though those were civilians that were not part of the gang. They were just taking a bus, going for work, going to do the chores. The country got to a point on which we just wanted to do anything to get rid of the gangs, no matter what. Even some people said that we gave up our freedom, but again, the people was so happy to give that in exchange as long as they get rid of the gangsters, because they were just demons. The devil is himself in the earth. You're going to see that people still say, yeah, but he got rid of the gangs. Whenever there is something going on, yeah, but he got rid of the gang. It was something that was considered not possible at all. This is the first time in 100 years that we get to experience any peace. Again, I can go anywhere. This was not possible to be talking to great people like you, my friends, tourists, because nobody was coming to this country.
Was there any pressure for you to join the gangs? Did they put pressure on men?
Depending on the type of neighborhood, depending on how fancy or how poor the area was. One example, if it was a super poor area, then the gangsters were forcing you to join them, or they were gonna kill you or your mom or your sister. If it is an area that was not that poor and that had some access to business, so that means that the gangsters were having a life, then they will pretty much lure you, telling you, yo, see how we are living? We have 3 houses, 3 cars, a lot of girlfriends, partying every year, so you're gonna have this life. Many teenagers were lied that way, and they were fooled into the gang that way, thinking that they were gonna have the same life, but only very few of them made it to the top. It was just very few of them that had that life, and anyways, they were always either going to the hospital or the cemetery, the graveyard, because that is a life that doesn't guarantee you any long living, you know what I mean?
Man, that was a heavy conversation. He shared a lot of his own personal experiences, what it's like living here, and the people that he lost to gang violence. And I can't imagine what it was like living here. I had the camera off for most of it, but it was heavy. A lot of the stories that he told here about the things that have happened. This is a country that has gone through a complete 180 transformation. From what I've seen and heard from the locals here, they seem beyond thrilled from what's happened in the country. As Adrian said, it didn't seem possible what Bukele has done. Maybe in the future this will be an example for other countries who want to follow suit, who need to clean up their cities and clean up the crime and the gangs in their countries. Again, it has been controversial in some ways, but as Adrian said and the locals said, they feel it was necessary. I can honestly say I feel completely safe in this country now. This was a heavy episode to make, but a necessary one, I believe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.